What if the delay in your life isn't a punishment, but proof that you've been chosen for something bigger than you can currently handle? What if the reason things are taking longer for you is because rushing it would destroy you instead of elevate you? Listen carefully, because this message isn't for everyone. This is for the chosen one, and Archangel Michael says be patient. Don't rush the process. You've been comparing your life to others, watching people your age succeed. Move ahead and build things you're still praying for. And if you're honest, there's a quiet frustration inside you. You're doing the work. You're trying, but nothing seems to move at the speed you expected. And that's where the trap begins. Psychologically, your mind is wired to seek quick rewards. It wants validation now, progress now, results now, but the problem is everything meaningful in life grows slowly, quietly, and often invisibly. Think about it. A seed doesn't break through the soil the same day it's planted. It stays hidden. It looks like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, something powerful is forming, and that's exactly where you are right now. There's a story in the Bible about Joseph. He had a dream of greatness, a vision that he would rise above his circumstances. But what happened next? His own brothers betrayed him. He was sold into slavery, and later falsely accused and thrown into prison. Now imagine this from a psychological perspective. Joseph had every reason to feel stuck, to feel forgotten, to question his purpose. Years passed, and nothing looked like the dream he saw. But here's what most people miss. Joseph wasn't being delayed, he was being developed. Every hardship built something in him: resilience, wisdom, and emotional strength. And if he had reached power too early, he wouldn't have had the capacity to handle it. And that's the part no one talks about. You don't just pray for blessings, you must become the person who can sustain them. That business you want requires discipline you don't fully have yet. That influence you desire requires emotional control you're still learning. That breakthrough you're asking for requires a mindset that won't collapse under pressure, so the delay isn't rejection, it's preparation. Another example is David. He was anointed as king while he was still a shepherd boy. Imagine being told you're going to be king, and then going back to watching sheep. No throne, no crown, just waiting, and not just waiting, but running for his life from King Saul, hiding, surviving, and learning. From a psychological standpoint, this is where most people quit, because the brain starts to create a narrative. Maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I missed my time. But what if the waiting season is the training ground? David didn't just wait. He developed courage, leadership, and faith, the same skills he would later need to lead a nation. So when Archangel Michael says be patient, it's not passive, it's active growth. Let's bring this into your everyday life. You've probably had moments where things almost worked out, but didn't. Opportunities that slipped away. Plans that failed, and doors that closed right in front of you. And at the time it felt like loss, but look deeper. There are things you wanted in the past that if you got, then would have led you into the wrong environment, the wrong people, and the wrong version of yourself. And that's the hidden protection in delay. Your mind doesn't always see long-term consequences. It focuses on immediate desire, but your life is being shaped beyond what you can currently perceive. There's a principle in psychology called delayed gratification. It's the ability to resist immediate rewards for greater rewards later, and studies show that people who master this tend to be more successful, more fulfilled, and more emotionally stable. Now think about this spiritually. What if your entire journey is teaching you delayed gratification so you can handle long-term success? Because success without discipline becomes self-destruction, and this is why rushing is dangerous. Rushing relationships leads to heartbreak. Rushing success leads to burnout. Rushing decisions leads to regret, but patience builds clarity. There's also the story of Abraham. He was promised a child, but had to wait decades. Imagine holding on to a promise that long, and from a human perspective that sounds unreasonable, but during that time, Abraham's faith was being stretched. His perspective was being transformed, and his identity was being reshaped, because sometimes the promise isn't just about what you receive, it's about who you become, and that brings us back to you. You feel like you're behind, but you're not behind, you're in process. You feel like nothing is happening, but something is happening inside you that will eventually show on the outside. Growth is uncomfortable because it requires letting go of who you were before you fully become who you're meant to be. And that space in between is where confusion lives. That's where doubt whispers. And that's where most people give up. But that's also where transformation happens. So when you feel the urge to rush, pause. When you feel like quitting, observe. When you feel like comparing, disconnect, because your journey isn't meant to look like anyone else's. And here's the truth that changes everything. If it comes too early, you won't recognize its value. If it comes too fast, you won't sustain its weight. If it comes without growth, it will leave just as quickly. But when it comes at the right time, you'll be ready. You'll have the mindset, the strength, the clarity, and the maturity to not just receive it, but to keep it. So yes, it's taking time. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels unfair sometimes, but you are not forgotten. You are being prepared, and Archangel Michael says this clearly: be patient. Don't rush the process, because what's coming into your life isn't ordinary. It's something that requires a stronger version of you, and that version is being built right now. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long, start asking, what is this season building in me? Because once you understand that the waiting won't feel like suffering anymore, it will feel like purpose in motion, and one day, everything that felt delayed will finally make sense.